The Sony A80K is the 2022 main OLED line from Sony, coming in 55, 65, and 77 inches using LG Display 2022 WRGB OLED panels. So the box is pretty plain, just brown. You have 3 straps. If you flip these straps over and peel down, then you can easily just break them without having to cut them off. So Sony, in my opinion, makes the unboxing of their TVs very easy. I was able to unbox, put the stand on, and set up the 77-inch OLED just by myself. So once you get the straps off, open the top, you'll see the feet and the remote and papers and such. Then you get the foam off, you'll see the TV and some cardboard, pull that out. Here's all the accessories and the instructions for the setup. Once the box is lifted over the top of the TV, you'll see how it sits in the foam, and there's 3 little triangle tabs on each side. You lift those up, and then you can fold the bottom of the box down, and then slide each end of the styrofoam out, and there will be a piece in the middle that stays there. Then you can tilt the TV over and slot in each foot. There's 3 different positions for the feet to accommodate a soundbar or different types of stands. There's 4 HDMI ports, 2 are 120 or 2.1 ports, 1 being the eARC port, it's port 3. The power cable goes on the other side, the right side if you're looking at the TV. And then here's an image of the reflection handling compared to a G2. So the G2 has a full mirror type gloss finish, whereas the A80K, even at 77 inches, does have semi-gloss. Now the pixels, as you can see here, those indicate that this is the 2022 EX style panel from LG. Alright, so we will be going through the setup process. However, I know a very big question that a lot of you have based off of the A80J last year was, does the TV have ASBL or logo detection dimming? And I can say for sure, yes, it does. It operates just the same as the A80J last year. In these images, I was playing for 5 minutes and then came back to the same spot at 2 minutes and 5 minutes to show how much it had dimmed. And then if you change the input and switch back, you'll see it goes back to full brightness. So I will have a full review very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But I know that was the biggest question many of you had. As for the setup process, it is a Google TV. My personal favorite option of the available TV operating systems when it comes to Google TV, WebOS, Tizen, etc. So the reason I like Google TV is that 1, the setup process is very easy, and 2, when you have your, say, Netflix account and so on tied to your Google account, when you sign in, it can sign in everything else for you. I also like the layout of the Google OS once you are set up. During the setup process, it will ask you what apps you would like to have pre-installed. And then this splash screen is a Sony signature screen they've been doing for at least a few years. And then you get into the Sony side of the setup. Here you'll get to do a basic room correction for the built-in speakers using the microphone on the remote. Sign up for some of Sony's services, agree to their own terms of service so that you can use their apps, set up your voice recognition. There is a switch on the bottom of the TV to turn it on and off. And the biggest thing that I really like is the power saving can be disabled from the startup menu instead of having it automatically enabled, and then a lot of people don't know to go into the settings and disable it. So if you do turn off the energy saving in that step, then you don't have to worry about that restricting the brightness of the TV when you are watching stuff. During the setup process, you will also get to redeem your rewards for Sony Bravia Core, which is their streaming app. So you'll get 5 or 10 movies depending where you bought the TV, as well as 12 or 24 months of their streaming plan, again, depending where you bought the TV. During the setup process, you'll also be asked about Samba. I usually decline this. That is just tracking how you use the TV, what you watch, and then it makes recommendations and things like that. So after all of that, it will then start to install the apps that you had selected. So this can take a little bit depending on how many you selected, your internet connection, if you're wired or wireless. Definitely suggest being wired. And then here I just open the curtain, so again you can see how the reflections are handled. So while it does diffuse the reflections a little bit, it also spreads them out a little bit and makes them a little bit brighter. So in dark scenes, it's kind of hard to say if it's better or worse than a full glossy panel. I would say probably worse. However, in bright scenes, it can help. So it kind of just depends on what you like. Personally, I prefer the full glossy coating or non-coating on other OLEDs. But this is your Google TV menu system, and if you go down to your apps, you can long hold press the circle button, and then it brings up the option to move and arrange them. You can scroll down and see how it recommends different content. It's a new TV, so nothing is based off of what you watch yet. It's just the defaults. You can go over to apps and you can search for apps, games, content. There is a voice search that works very well in my opinion. So I can just say The Witcher on Netflix, and then it will just instantly go to it. And because, again, this is Google TV and my Netflix is tied to that account, it automatically signs me in and takes me straight to the last episode that I was watching and is ready to play. Now, I will have a full dedicated settings video for all kinds of content with this TV very soon. But in the meantime, I'll just show a couple of the basics that you should do if you buy the Sony A80K. First is that there's technically two different versions of apps. So you see in the top it says apps and then video in parentheses. Other apps will not say video, so it treats it as two different sources. So with this one, you're just going to disable the light sensor. And then this is Netflix using a built-in app, so it's going to be in Dolby Vision, not HDR10. So with Dolby Vision bright setting, which is not the accurate setting, you could use gradation preferred to make it a little closer to accurate, or if you leave the tone mapping set to off, then it will just be brighter, as in a higher APL brighter. Pretty much everything else you can leave alone. Motion stuff, that's up to you. Smoothness at 1 usually works pretty well for most people when it comes to the motion. Some people like 2, and then if you want no smoothing, then you can set it to min or off. And then the black frame insertion or clearness setting this year no longer has multiple options. It's either on or off, even though they call it low and high. So if you want to be watching Dolby Vision content in the way that it's supposed to be though, then you should use Dolby Vision Dark. Make sure the tone mapping is off, and really there's nothing that you need to be adjusting again when it comes to the settings, as the Dolby Vision Dark picture mode is pretty much already set up for you in a very good way. Again, motion stuff, clarity stuff, that's your preference, and of course you can always change anything however you like, but if you want it to be accurate, just leave it alone and then adjust the motion how you want it. Alright, so since all HDR content on Netflix is Dolby Vision now, you can just go to the Netflix homepage and set up your SDR, and then that's all you'll have to do for the built-in apps. So the TV does start with being in standard picture mode. Pretty much if you just want it to be accurate and don't want to fiddle with settings, you just slide it over to custom and then make sure the light sensor is off, and that's about it. Again, if you want more in-depth settings, I'll have a full settings video very soon about this TV, which will cover SDR, HDR, Dolby Vision, gaming, pretty much all content for it. So now that you're done with apps video, you can just hit the home button, and then that counts as apps, and then all your apps will be set up once you do that. In addition to the settings video and review that are coming soon, I will also be comparing this to the LG G2, so keep an eye out for that. If you aren't subscribed, hit subscribe, and hopefully you'll see those videos as they release in the next few days. Thank you all for watching. I hope this helps you out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.